decided to choose this top instead. I think it makes me look a little more put together. Decide to choose this as my next book. I'm currently reading Crime and Punishment as my big book, and I realized that I literally have to make this character map just because the Russian names are so confusing for me, and it's also even more confusing because they will sometimes call someone in their first names, and then if they start calling them in their last names, I would just consider them as two different people. So yeah, this is the progress. I'm only on like 20 page, but Miss Judith Hearn. who is mid-aged and she's single and she suffers from extreme desolation and futility of love. So she is very desperate to receive love. Everyone that was in her life ends up leaving her at some point because of various reasons, and I think it really talks a lot about not only about the psychology of being lonely, but also how society views unmarried, single, mid-aged women, especially considering that this book was written in the 1950s. She is also a Christian. It also talks a lot about religion, and yeah, I think this book really touched base on very different topics. The storyline itself was very engaging. There's a lot going on in the plot. I think this is definitely a plot-driven book if I had to choose, if I had to describe. But yeah, it was pretty entertaining for me too. And this is my first time reading a book from Brian Moore, and I think I will definitely read more from him. I really liked how he kind of brought in, I feel like the concept of loneliness is very much subjective, but I really liked how he kind of narrated the story overall. So, interesting book. I think I rated pretty high. And after that book, I did actually read a lot more. I was able to read a lot this month. Not this month, September, it's October now. But I read Madonna in a Fur Coat. I know the hype for this, and I was very curious. For me, it was okay. Like, it was good, definitely a page turner. But I think I'm just not a very romantic person when it comes to books. I don't mind reading romantic books. I don't mind reading love stories. But this was pretty much kind of predictable for me, and like some traits of the main character kind of threw me off. I just couldn't like correlate why it felt so destined. So I know a lot of people love this, and I don't regret reading this. It was fun. It was a short, fun read. I think I finished it in like 2 days. But yeah, it was just good. I also read Regarding the Pain of Others by Susan Sontag. I'm very much butchering this pronunciation. But honestly, just from the title, I thought it would be about like a psychological analysis. I know this was about something about war because I read the back of the book before I bought this, but I didn't know that this was going to be about photography. I just was so, like, when I first read this book, I was like, what? Like, is it gonna talk about photography for the entire book? And yes, it did. But I think it's definitely like an interesting perspective to learn about photography, especially because this book is about photography during war and how photography kind of developed and evolved, like just like the technique, how documentation was crucial. And I don't know, there were a lot of like, it was very kind of educating for me almost, because I really don't know a lot about photography, especially when it comes to war photography. So I don't regret reading this at all. It was definitely, again, very educating, but it was very unexpected at the same time. But it was a short read. So I also read Rent Boy. I think this is the Magnolia edition. Yeah, it's a very short story, this as well. I finished it in one sitting. It brought on topics that I would not really, it was not like shocking in a way, or like disturbing in a way. Sometimes there were scenes where it got too descriptive and I was just like kind of thrown off. I was like, is this necessary? But Plot-wise, I think it's a great narrative. It's also very short, so if you're looking for a short book that's entertaining, sometimes like somewhat eye-opening, I would recommend. And for the reading update of now, I'm currently reading The Crime and Punishment, the very famous Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. Fyodor Dostoevsky. I know I filmed a little clip talking about how Russian names gets to me. I'm very bad at names, especially in Korean. Like, yeah, I can't remember any names unless I talk to someone in person and I have to like constantly remind myself of what their names are. So basically I drew a character map on my notebook. I still have that character map and I had to refer to it multiple times while reading this. I'm currently on like part 5. There are 6 parts total. So I'm like on the 5th one. I have like 200 pages left. So far, I think this might be my favorite book of the year. Like, I don't know if another book could top this. It really reminded me of why I read in a very long time. So, yeah, I really like it. So far, I can't wait to finish it. I wish I could have finished it this weekend. But, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. But I've been taking a lot of notes, as you can tell. I'm also reading Slouching Towards the Bethlehem by Joan Didion. It's a collection of short stories, so most of the times I really can't read multiple books at once. I know a lot of people do this. They have like a main book and a side book. Sometimes if they get like kind of tired of it, they will like switch around. I really can't do that. I only can like concentrate in one book. But this is like a short story. Like one story is only like, I don't think it's longer than 20 pages each. So far, I kind of get why the writing style of Joan Didion is so like famous. Like it's so well known for. Like her writing style is so good. I don't even know how else I can explain it. It really just takes you like into the story. And at first I was like kind of skeptical because 20 pages of a short story, like how much can you put into a story when it's 20 pages? But no, she can fit a lot in there. Like I was surprised. And she fits so much that I literally cannot read more than one story a day. So I've just been reading one story a day for this book. And it's been very good. I also wanted to share some used books that I got from the bookstore this weekend. I didn't know, but there are a couple used bookstores near Brooklyn, which makes me very happy. I got these books from, of course, I don't remember the name, but I will put the name of the bookstore somewhere on the screen. But first, I got the George Eliot That Lifted Veil. I wanted to get a book specifically from the Virago Modern Classics, the Penguin edition, I think. And when I found this, I was very happy. I only heard of George Eliot. I don't think I know a lot about the author, but this is a very, very short read. Like I think it's less than 100 pages. So, and I really like the title. So I'm very excited to read this. I also got books from Virginia Woolf. When I saw these covers, I needed to get them together. I've only heard of Mrs. Dalloway, but I'm also really excited to read The Pargeters. I also find What Maisie Knew by Henry James. I've heard about this book a lot. I was specifically looking for this cover because obviously this cover is just gorgeous. And when I found this, I was very happy. And last but not least, I got a vintage edition of The Vanity Fair by William Thackeray. I'm like more than excited to read these.